What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. It's probably been like 2 months since I've done a talking video, so we're here today with a bell talk video. It's been a really long time. I think this is episode only 4, so it's been a minute. But I got 2 bells in today. Pretty cool additions to the collection. And I've got some fun stuff coming up for these in the future. So we'll kind of get at it. So these are both raised letter 3s. Nothing too crazy. Or 3As, I should say. And the really cool thing is that these are 3 ABs. So now you're probably wondering, okay, why do these bells have an A and a B? Well, some of you might already know why there's 2 designations on this. So these started life as normal raised letter 3As, and then they were not milled to anything different, but they had some holes added. 3 holes drilled and tapped, both bells. Focus. And those are for these. These are these aren't my first shims, but these are my first metal shims, which is pretty cool. You guys can see they've been stamped 3B designation. So the purpose of these is you drop them in a 3A, brings it up to a 3B. So that's pretty cool. You guys already know I have some 3Bs in the collection already. We'll take a quick walk over here. So the first 3B would be the one on the KS5T. I'm not going to say too much about this right now. You guys have heard the sound clip. I'll do a horn talk on that some other time. We're just going to kind of go into the 3B right now. So this one actually started life as a 3, and I had Mr. Muha shipped it to him and had him bore it down to a 3B. So this one is not a convertible bell. Didn't have holes drilled for a shim back up to a 3. This is just a straight 3B. And then, of course, on my K5HLB, we have an actual factory 3B, which is really cool. Super hard to find these. I basically did a pretty crazy trade with a good friend of mine to get this bell because I wanted it bad, because it is a legit factory produced 3B, and I wanted a pretty well stock K5HLB, all original factory parts. So started with that one over there, and then we got this one. So now I have a little bit more opportunity to mess around with a couple more 3Bs, or if I want them as 3As, I can use them as 3As, which is really cool. I've never had a convertible bell before. My other shim that I had was actually to turn a raised letter standard 4 into a true 4, and that also ended up on the KS5T. That shim I put in permanently, so it cannot be removed anymore. So that's not a convertible bell either. So these are really cool because these are my first convertible bells. So for those of you that know about shims, you know how they work. This is going to just be a little simple explanation for the people that don't know much about shims. So most of us know the your bore depth right here is what determines the note that it plays, along with the length of the bell. But most of your noise is happening right here, so the depth of this determines what note you're getting. You know, standard 3's right around there, pretty shallow. 3A's, as you can see, pretty deep. And then our 3B shims. These are pretty cool. They're pretty tight fit. But they slide right down in there. Holes actually lined up right away, so that's cool. And then I'm not normally I know every size of bolt on a horn. I do not know what the size of these are, because I've never dealt with set screws this tiny on a horn before. So I'm not sure what the thread is on these. I am sorry, I don't have that information. Probably should have had that ahead of time. But we'll drop those down in there. And it's just that simple. The head of these is a 3/32. Just kind of spin those down. Whoop. Trying to do this one-handed and get some type of a view of this isn't the easiest. So yeah, you guys can see it's pretty simple stuff. You just tighten them all the way down. No need to crank them down too crazy, because then if you know, they're already not that big of a bolt, or I should say a screw. Technically a bolt, just a tiny one. Just nice and snug. And then bam. So I just took that 3A and turned it into a 3B that quick. So that's the luxury of having these shims that are able to come in and out. So that's why these have dual designation on them, because they are a convertible bell. These were made by Muha. For those of you who know who I'm talking about, he does incredible work. A friend of mine had these made and ended up not doing anything with them, so he was able to hold them for me till I could buy both of them from him. So you guys know I'm a parts collector, so why not have two of them? Because now that pretty much gives me technically 4 bells, not 4 at the same time usable, but 4 bells nonetheless. You know, 2 3As or 2 3Bs, either way you look at it. So but yeah, so that's really cool that I finally have convertible bells in my collection. I do have plans for these, so won't be anytime soon. Our weather turned to winter pretty quick. Joys of living in western Minnesota. It kind of gets winter time extremely quick, so going to the next part of this video, this isn't just a bell talk. We're going to talk about the future of my channel, at least over the next 4 to 5 months. I do have some stuff coming horn-wise. I have a manifold coming, and I have another early K5HL coming, plus a couple other bells. So I do still have some horn stuff coming, but the This is a message to all my subscribers. I am going to be kind of switching gears over to model railroading, and I've already started that. So my horn content isn't going to completely disappear for the winter, but it's really going to taper down. You guys know all through the spring and summer I hammered out as much content as I could horn-wise. Crap ton of sound clips, a couple restoration projects over even into last winter, kind of near the end of last winter I was still getting stuff in. So you guys know I've been really hard on the horns for quite a while. Well, I'm going to take a break from that because I have literally a never-ending list of model railroad projects that I would like to get done before I die. So I am going to be switching gears for the winter, probably into the spring, till the weather perks back up for good for the summer. So like I said, my horn content is going to become super scarce. It's not going to completely disappear because, so you guys know, the past 2 months I have been throwing sound clips at you nonstop pretty much, except for the past few weeks here. It's been pretty quiet. So we're going to go back and do the horn talks on some of the stuff that you guys have heard. We have a lot of stuff to catch up on. You guys have heard the sound clips. I'm not going to try and do really crappy indoor audio this winter like I did last winter. You guys dealt with that all last winter pretty much. So basically I'm just taking the winter off from any big horn projects. But some of the stuff that we'll catch up on in the coming months is, of course, the crazy looking KS5T. Some of you that have me on Facebook or that's on the horn group on Facebook, you've seen some of the stuff a little bit more in depth. But I will be catching some stuff up on my channel here. We got the raised letter K5H. We'll get into that. We'll get into this crazy bell combinations, the normal K5HL. That, not going to say too much about that. We'll catch up on that. You guys can see matching colors. If you've seen the video about that, then you can kind of guess where that came from. Well, where the paint came from, I should say. We'll get into that later. The K5HLB, we'll get back to that. My early K5HLs that I have done. We'll just kind of skim through and kind of catch up on some of this. The Amtrak 90s square tag P42 K5LA, and then the Amtrak early 2000s round tag. I think that's 23K on that. Some of the K3s that you guys have heard that we'll catch up on. So like I said, over the winter, every now and then we'll do a horn talk. We'll catch up on some of these horns that I really haven't had much time for explaining. Just you guys have just been hearing them. Haven't really been able to explain what's happening with some of these. So I'll kind of sprinkle those videos in, but we are going to be mainly model railroad stuff, and I'm probably not going to be doing, I'll do as many videos as I can because we have a lot of stuff to go through, but some of this stuff is pretty time consuming, so I am going to just try and get some projects done. I will show some in between stuff. I'll kind of go back to other stuff and talk about what I've done or what I'm going to be doing. So if anybody, if you're a horn fan and you're a model railroad fan, please stick around. If you're a horn fan and you see some of my model railroad stuff come through, just hold tight. You guys will see some horn stuff again. Like I said, I'll just kind of sprinkle it in here and there. So please don't leave. So yeah, but if you know anybody that's into model railroading, specifically HO, we're doing all HO, let them know about my channel. I'm hoping to get some more model railroad subscribers over the winter. We have a crap ton of BNSF, Amtrak, Ferromex, Union Pacific, some steam, a lot of steam stuff, diesel, passenger cars. I'll show you guys the mess in here just to kind of give you some context. Both these totes are completely full of freight cars. That whole table all the way down is stacked high full of rail cars. I have a storage area in there that's full of train stuff. So I'm really going to be pumping out the model railroad content as much as I can. You guys have seen before, that's all mow equipment, plows, Jordan spreaders, some other little cool odds and ends. So I'm going to really try and hammer some of that stuff out. Workbench, you guys have seen, I have completely switched everything over to model railroad mode. My test track's back, controller, all my paints that I use, my tools and stuff. So we're pretty much set to go for everything model railroad. Horn stuff's still here, you know. Like I said, you guys will see some stuff here and there, but it's mostly going to be model railroad over the next probably till spring, sometime in spring. Then I'll start blowing horns again and doing some more sound clips like that. And if I acquire anything over the winter, like if I buy anything new horn-wise, of course I'll do a video on that. So like I said, horn content isn't going completely away, it's just really going to taper down. And we're going to concentrate on getting back to some model railroad stuff. So like I said, if you know anybody that's into model railroading, I'm going to do paint stuff, weathering stuff, detailing, all on locomotives, rail cars, and then this fridge. So as you guys can tell, this it's a kitchen. Used to be a usable kitchen. This fridge has sat empty, and I haven't done a damn thing with it. Well, there's stuff in this fridge right now. This fridge, as you can tell, not plugged in. No power to it, but there is stuff in here. I'm using this as storage. There's something that I've been working on for 10 years, on and off, 10 years. My most expensive, probably add up the horn collection, maybe about the same. So we'll just say not my most expensive, but my most expensive model railroad project is in this fridge. This whole fridge is full of a massive, massive project that I've been working on for 10 years. A lot of endless hours, a lot of sleepless nights, long days. But I'm not going to say what's in there yet. I'm going to hold that for the rail fans, for the HO fans. There's a big project in this fridge, and it's going to be really cool when I do show it off. I have shown some of this stuff on, I'm not going to say what groups, certain groups on Facebook. So some people know that I have this stuff, but a lot of you on my YouTube don't. So it's going to be really cool. Not sure when we're going to get into this. Might be right away, might not. So we'll see, but look forward to what's in there, because it's some pretty cool stuff. If you're just a rail fan, if you're a model railroad fan, you're gonna appreciate what I've been working on the past 10 years on and off. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. A little bit of bell talk, pretty much a full shop update of what's been happening. So I really hope you guys stick around, even the hardcore horn fans. If you're just into the horns, please stick around. Like I said, I am going to sprinkle some horn videos on. It's not just going to be model railroad, but it's going to be mostly model railroad. there's probably not going to be any more sound clips until spring. Even though as bad as I want to do those, the weather's just not really cooperating with me right now, and I don't feel like getting out there when it's cold. My job is not climate controlled, so I deal with pretty cold temperatures, and when I'm at home, I tend to just stay inside. So, so yeah, guys, want to thank every single one of my subscribers, new and old, especially the people that are the older ones, because you guys have been through a lot of different videos with me. I do promise, don't know when, I can't say when, but I do promise I am going to get a compressor for the truck, get air tanks, and eventually start doing run-bys. So you guys have been awesome enough to stick around through all my crappy garage audio and my even crappier inside the basement audio. But I do promise someday I am going to get a compressor. I have a list made out already of what I want in the truck. So I am slowly getting to a mobile rig for horn honking. Just bear with me, it will happen. It is something that I have in the works. It's just going to be a while yet. But I do thank every single one of you for sticking around, dealing with my half-ass videos sometimes here. It's just me and my phone, so not the most lavish thing, all my horns are just kind of sitting on the ground. I got a cat on a bed, in a bed, so so yeah, look forward to the model railroad stuff. Really exciting stuff there, just as exciting as the horn stuff in my opinion, because I love both. I've been a model railroader as far back as I can remember. I remember having and I still have a lot of Lionel tube track stuff, like post-war, some pre-war stuff. But HO has always been my thing. As far back as I can remember, getting the little cheap train sets from like Kmart and Toys R Us, back when Toys R Us was open. I'm sure some of us have fond memories of that place. And then just over the years, starting to really go to hobby shops, buy some more detailed stuff, get my own details, detail my own stuff. So I've been doing model railroading a hell of a lot longer than I've been in horns. So I want model railroading to really be a part of this channel as well. I know some people would do a different channel for that. I don't feel like doing that. I feel like just one channel is hard enough to run. So everyone's just going to get a little bit of everything on this channel. Like I said, in the very first video I ever took, and you guys can go back to it and recap on that, I told you I was going to go through horns and model railroading. So now we're finally getting to model railroading. So I really hope everyone's looking forward to some of that stuff. And like I said, appreciate everyone's support. I love you guys to death. I love, like, literally, you guys see, if you comment, I comment. This channel's pretty small, so I'm able to, like, really build a connection with you guys. Some of you guys I know on Facebook too, that are subscribed to my channel. I appreciate the support from the guys that leak over to Facebook that are from my channel. Really appreciate the support on there. So yeah, guys, big update there. Switching gears for the winter. It's going to be fun. You guys are going to see some cool stuff. Still going to see some cool horn stuff, cool model railroad stuff. It's going to be awesome times. Thank you so much. And until next time, take care.